Abundant Grace International School, we are located right in Obuasi, precisely BDM. The school has a number of facilities that aid in learning. We have qualified and trained teachers who are ready and willing to assist the children. The school has many facilities such as the ICT laboratory. We also have a science laboratory. We also have a library. The school has a number of buses which convey the children from their various destinations to the school premises. We have the football team, we have the drama group, we have a lot, and the school is based on the Christian principles. For more inquiries, you can call this number 0541 310 901 0541 670772. Abundant Grace, in God we trust.
Hello, our cherished viewers. Welcome once again to AGPS TV. My name is Abdulmumin Rafik, and I'll be your ICT facilitator for this lesson. Just as we did last week, we used questions and answers to unfold some technical terms as far as ICT is concerned. So this week, we are continuing from where we stopped last week. So without wasting much time, let's discuss the questions we have today. Good. So last week we ended on question number 2. So this week question 3 states that state 3 actions performed during text editing. State 3 actions performed during text editing. Good. Now the 3 actions performed during text editing we have copy, cut, paste, undo, redo, delete, select. All these activities are done during text editing. Copy, cut, paste, undo, delete, redo, select. All these can be called text editing tools. Text editing tools. Now I'll quickly move on to the next question. 3B states that define the following terms as used in word processing environments. Define the following terms as used in word processing environments. We have clip art, clipboard. Clip art, clipboard. Good. Now when we say clip art, simply it is a collection of pictures grouped into various types, such as arts, sports, and seasons. Clip art is a collection of pictures or group of pictures grouped into various types, such as arts, sports, and seasons. Then we have clipboard. Clipboard. Now, a clipboard is a board that keeps copied text on your computer memory temporarily. Clipboard is a board that keeps copied text on your computer memory temporarily. Good. We move on to the next question. Good. Now, this is an interesting question. And then at this point, I would humbly urge viewers to get close to their PCs, personal computers if you have one, because we're going to do some practice here. Now, the question states that write the keyboard shortcuts or key combinations used to perform the following operations in MS Word. Write the keyboard shortcuts or key combinations used to perform the following operations in MS Word. Then we have I. The I is grammar and spelling dialog box. Grammar and spelling dialog box. Then we have open a document. Open a document. We have save changes made in an existing document. Save changes made in an existing document. Then we have undo. Undo. Then we have V, select entire document. Select entire text in a document. Select entire text in a document. Then we have VI. display font dialog box. VI, display font dialog box. Now, as I said earlier on, if you have a personal computer, I would humbly urge that you get close to it, because this is somehow practical. Good. So the keyboard shortcuts for the I, that is grammar and spelling dialog box, is F7. F7 on your keyboard. Now the F7 key is part of a group of keys on the keyboard known as functional keys. And then they are numbered from F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, F9 to F12. So when working with MS Word, and then you want to display the grammar and spelling dialog box, you simply strike on the F7 key. Simply strike on the F7 key. Now, let us see how it is done practically. Good. So strike the F7 key. That is it. Gently. And then you wait for the response. Good. So as you can see on our screen, if you strike the F7 key, it will display the spelling and grammar dialog box. Then you can make the necessary corrections. So here, that is how it is done. Strike on the F7 key to display the spelling and grammar dialog box where you can make your necessary corrections, if any. Then the II is open a document, and the keyboard combination or shortcut is Ctrl+O. Ctrl+O. Now let's see how that is also what's done. So Ctrl+O. So you look on the keyboard. I'm going to strike the Ctrl+O combinations. Good. So I press on my Control key, then O. Good. Then this is what will happen if you carry the operation out correctly. Ctrl+O. Now here I have a list of files that I can open. So Ctrl+O. That is how it is being carried out. Move on to the next operation. That is save changes in an existing document. Save changes in an existing document. And the keyboard shortcut for that is Ctrl+S. Ctrl+S. Let's see how you can carry out that operation. So this is my existing document. I've added some content to it. Good. Then I strike on my Ctrl+S. That is it. Ctrl+S. Now, whatever changes I have made will be added to the existing document. So that is how we carry out the Ctrl+S function. Then we have IV, undo. Then the keyboard shortcut for undo is Ctrl+Z. Ctrl+Z. Now let's see how that is also carried out on the keyboard. Ctrl+S. Sorry, Ctrl+Z. Sorry, Ctrl+Z, undo. So I'm going to strike on my Control key, and I'll strike on the Z key. So you can see my thumb is on the Control, then my Z. Good. Now let's see what happens. So Ctrl+Z is the keyboard shortcut for undo. Good. Now it has undone the corrections I made with the keyboard. As you can see, it has undone the corrections I made with the keyboard, where is the grammar and spelling dialog box to correct the keyboard. It has undone the corrections I made. Good. Let us move on to the next operation. The next operation. Then we have V, that is select entire text in a document. Select entire text in a document. And the keyboard shortcut for that is Control plus A. Control plus A. Now let's see how this operation is also carried out. Good. So Control plus A, select the entire text. So I'm going to gently strike on my Control. Control plus A. Good. Now let's see what happens. Good. We've selected the entire text in the documents. Control plus A, it selects the entire text in a document. In a document. Now the next question is IV, or our next operation is VI, and then we have to display font dialog box. Display font dialog box, and then our keyboard combinations for that is Control plus Shift plus F. Control plus Shift plus F. Let us see how it is carried on. Control plus Shift plus F. Good. Let's see on our screen. Very good. Now we have our font dialog box. Font dialog box. And then we can carry out any changes we want on our text. But then before that, we have to first highlight the text before we can carry out any formatting changes on it. Very good. Good. Let's move on to the next question. Very good. Then the B states that study the device and answer the questions that follow. Study the device and answer the question that follow. I, name the device above. I, name the device above. Name the device. Now let's see the name of the device above. Now the device displayed, or the device we just displayed on your screen, is called a memory. Computer memory. RAM. Random access memory. Random access memory. RAM. Random access memory. Good. Let's move on to the next question. That is II. II states that state any two roles the device named in BI above plays when the computer is in. My question is not complete. When the computer is in, or when the computer is running. When the computer is running. Good. Now, what they're asking us to state is, the RAM. What is the function of the RAM? RAM, random access memory. Now, here are some functions of the random access memory. We can say that it stores data temporarily on the computer. It stores data temporarily on the computer. Good. B, the memory stores files. It stores files that are in use while the computer is running. The memory stores files that are in use while the computer is running. Then we have C, it holds data. The memory holds data while the computer is processing. The memory holds data while the computer is processing. So these are some functions of the RAM. Random access memory. Random access memory. Good. So that's a diagram of the RAM. That's the RAM. That's how the RAM looks like. That's a random access memory of the computer system. Good. And then it is a component on the motherboard. It is a hardware device anyway. One of the components of the motherboard, and it plays a very important role in the processing of data to give meaningful information. That is the RAM. Random access memory. Good. That's the random access memory we just displayed on your screen. Let's move on to the next question. Good. Then the question 5 also states that study the following devices carefully and answer the questions that follow. Name the device labeled A to F. A to F. A to F. Good. So we're going to name this. Actually, all these devices are hardwares. They are hardwares. And then they are peripherals. Some of them are peripherals. Peripherals, for instance, the device labeled A, B, D, F, and then E are all peripherals. Are all peripherals. When I say peripherals, what it means is that they are devices that enables the computer to perform an extra functions. Peripherals. They are devices that enable the computer to perform an extra function. An extra function. This means that the computer can perform its normal functions without the peripheral. So when you attach a peripheral to the computer, it enables it to perform an extra function. So let's take a look at these devices, their names, and then their uses. Good. So the device labeled A is a pen drive. The device labeled A is a pen drive. B is a printer. The device labeled C is an Intel processor. Then the device labeled D is a projector. E is a floppy disk. Then F is a web camera. And then webcam for short. It's a web camera. Then we have webcam for short. So we shall take a look at the uses of these devices as far as computing is concerned. So this is the pen drive. The device displaying on your screen is the pen drive. So that's a pen drive for you. That is how the pen drive looks like. And then mostly it is used to store information. It is used to what? To store information and also to transfer data or information from one computer to another. From one computer to another. Good. The next device is a printer. Is a printer. A printer. Good. Then a printer is a device which is used to convert soft copy to hard copy. The printer is a device which is used to convert soft copy to hard copy. It is also a peripheral. It is also a computer peripheral. The computer can work without the printer. It can work. So these are our types of printers displaying on your screen. Good. So a printer is a device used to convert soft copy to hard copy. Soft copy here is the information or the text you type on your screen. Any object displayed on your monitor is a soft copy. Now, once the printer converts it into a hard, how do you call it, copy, you can actually what? Have a feel of it. So as you can see, this printer is converting some images into what? Into hard copies. Hard copies. Usually hard copies appear on a piece of what? Of paper where the user can actually what? Have a feel. You can touch hard copy, but then you can't touch soft copy. Soft copies are only displayed on our screen. We can't touch soft copies, but we can touch hard copies. We can touch hard copies. Then the device used to convert soft copies to hard copies is the printer. Is the printer. So the images you are seeing on your screen are all printers. As you can, they are all printers. So they are used to convert soft copies to hard copies. Good, soft copies to hard copies. So that is a printer for you. Yes, all these are types of printers being displayed. As you can see, this one is what is printing out an image, another image, another image. Good. Then this is the Intel processor. The Intel processor. The Intel processor. Now, this device is considered as the brain of the computer. This is where actual processing takes place. This device displayed on your screen is responsible for processing data into meaningful outputs or meaningful information for the user. Processor, it processes or it converts data into meaningful outcome for the user. For the user. Good. So we are moving on to the next question. Good. Then we also have the floppy disk. Projector, sorry. Okay, the projector. So that is, okay, this is a floppy disk displayed on your screen. That is a floppy disk displayed on your screen. Good. Then the floppy disk actually works like the pen drive. It works like the pen drive. It is used to transfer information from one computer system to another. Good. So that is how the floppy disk looks like. So floppy disk displayed on your screen. Good. Good. That is a floppy disk. Now there's a part good. This part's good. The parts I'm trying to close is the write protect. Write protect. Now once this part of the floppy disk is closed, you can't copy any information from it. Neither can you copy information on it. So if you want to copy information on it or from it, you have to open the write protect. So that part I just close and open is the write protect. We'll actually discuss the parts of a floppy disk, its functions in another lesson. So now we are just to know how the floppy disk looks like. So that is a floppy disk being displayed on your screen. That is a floppy disk. It is actually rare to come by these days because it has outlived its usefulness. The pen drive has taken full control, or it has taken the place of the floppy disk. So it's actually hard to come by the floppy disk these days. I'm sure most viewers have not seen the floppy disk before. Especially so our students in the JHS. You've not seen a floppy disk before. So that's a floppy disk I displayed on your screen. Good. Then, this device is also called a web camera. A web camera. Web camera. Then we have webcam for short. Web camera, webcam for short. Now the webcam is used for making audiovisual calls. Yes, for making audiovisual calls. It has a microphone, then a camera. Good, so that's the microphone part of the webcam. It is used to communicate with people who are not close. I mean, I can be here in Obuasi and I'll be communicating with someone outside of Obuasi, but you can actually be looking at each other. Good. So that's the camera part I'm pointing, and that's the microphone part. That device is called a web camera. A web camera. Web camera. Yes, it is used. It is used for communicating, for making audiovisual calls. For making audiovisual calls. So that is the cable of the web camera. Good. The audio side, and then we have the USB side, which is connected through the system units. That is the web camera. The web camera being displayed on your screen. It is used for making audiovisual calls. Audio means listening, and then visual means what? I mean, actually looking at the person whilst making the call. Good. We move on to the next question. Good. Then the B states that states two components, yes, that make up device C. States two components that makes up device C. Device C. Now let's look at the device C. Device C is an Intel processor. An Intel processor. Now, what are the components of an Intel processor? An Intel processor. Good. We have the control units, and then the arithmetic logic units. Control units and the arithmetic logic unit. Arithmetic logic unit and the control unit makes up the Intel processor. The Intel processor. Good. Then the next question, that is BII. BII. Reasons why device E is not common nowadays. Reasons why device E is not common nowadays. Now, the device E is a floppy disk. Is a floppy disk. Now, they're asking us that, why is floppy disk not common nowadays? Yes, why is floppy disk not common nowadays? Now, some of the reasons could be that it has a low storage capacity. It has a low storage capacity. Yes, when you compare the floppy disk to the pen drive, the highest capacity of the floppy disk is 1.44 megabytes, not even up to 1 gig, 1.44 megabytes. Good. So obviously, it stores less information as compared to the pen drive. So the pen drive has taken its place. Good. Then we have the next reason is that the floppy disk is not common nowadays because it is made of plastic and can easily break. It's made of what? Plastic. It can easily break. This means that the floppy disk is a fragile. It is a fragile storage device. It is fragile. You see, the little pressure you exert on it will cause its damage. Yeah, so the floppy disk is not common nowadays because it is made of plastic and can easily break. Good. So at this point, I would like us to go over what we've learned today. I would like us to go over what we've learned today. Good. So today, we started with question 3, where we were asked to state 3 actions performed during editing. Then the B was to define the following terms as used in the word processing environment: clip arts and then a clipboard. Clip arts and a clipboard. So good. Some of the activities we can carry out when editing include, we have copy, cut, paste, undo, redo, delete, select. All these are editing tools. Good. Then we have the clip art. The clip art, we said, is a collection of pictures grouped under various types, such as arts, sports, and then seasons. Next time, we'll try to insert some clip arts in our documents so that viewers will actually see how clip arts are used. Then the BII was to define a clipboard. So a clipboard is a board that keeps copied text on your computer memory temporarily. Yes, it keeps them what? Temporarily. And then a clipboard in MS Word can store up to 24 items. Good. Let's move on to the next question. Then the question 4, we were asked to give some keyboard shortcuts for these operations: grammar and spelling dialog box. We have the open a document. We have save changes made in an existing document. We have undo, select the entire document. We have display the font dialog box. Display the font. Now let's quickly run through how we went. Okay, good. Then The shortcut for the grammar and then spelling dialog box is F7. Open a document is Control plus O. Save changes in an existing document is Control plus S. Then undo is Control plus Z. Then we have select the entire document, Control plus A. Then display the font dialog box. We have Control plus Shift plus F. Control plus Shift plus F. Now let us go through the videos used in carrying out these functions. So we have the spelling and grammar check, that is F7. You strike the F7 on the keyboard, and I said that the F7 belongs to a group of keys known as the function keys. As you can see, they are numbered F1 to F12. F1 to F12. So when you want to display the spelling and grammar dialog box, you strike on the on the F7. On the F7, so that is it. As you can see here, good. That is how we use the spelling and grammar dialog box. It is used to correct wrongly spelled words when you are typing, and also to correct grammatical errors when we are typing. Good. The next operation. Control plus O to open a document. So I strike on my Control plus O. Let's see what happens. Good. Now that is the open dialog box on my screen. So I can select the file I want to open from the list of options displayed. From the list of options displayed. Good. Control plus O. That is to open a document. Good. Let's look at the next operation. Control plus S, that is to save an existing document. To save an existing document. So last week we learned about the save command, where we said that the save command is used to add content to an existing document. Good. So when you want to add content to an existing document under the same name, you use the Control plus S to add changes made to an existing document. Now the next operation, Control plus Z, that is undo. When you want to undo an action, you gently strike on the Control plus Z key, that is the undo. So as you can see, I made corrections in the keyboard. It has undone the corrections I made. It has undone the corrections I made. Good. That is the undo, Control plus Z. Control plus Z, undo. To select an entire document, that is Control plus A. So gently strike on the Control plus A, and then the entire text in your document will be selected. So here we have the entire document selected, or the entire text in the document what has been selected. Let's look at the next operation. That is to display the font dialog box. So that is Control plus Shift plus F. Now this is the font dialog box, and then you can actually make changes here if you select the text. So if you want to change the font style or the font type or the font size, you have to first select the text, and then you pick any of the options in the dialog box, and it will be carried out on the background. Good. The next question is, we were to study the diagram or the device and then answer the following questions. Then I is name the device above. I is state any two rows the device named in BI above play. When the computer is in use. Okay, when the computer is in use. The device we are seeing the what is the use or the function of the device when the computer is in use. Good. Now the computer above is a computer memory. It's a computer memory, and that is the RAM. Random access memory. Random access memory. So it stores data temporarily on the computer. It stores data temporarily on the computer. Now the memory stores files. that are in use while the computer is running. It also holds data while the computer is processing. Now, if you have information on the memory, as soon as there is power outage, you are going to lose everything. So if you are typing, as at the time you are typing, whatever you are typing is being stored in the computer memory. That is the one. That is the RAM, random access memory. Now, if your work is not saved, and then there is power outage, you are going to have to lose the entire work. That is why we said that it stores data temporarily on the computer, and it is classified as a primary storage device. A primary storage device. When I say primary storage device, they are devices that store information on temporal basis. Unlike the pen drive, which is a secondary storage device, which of course stores information permanently. So if you have information on a pen drive, a floppy disk, a hard disk, which are all secondary storage devices, the information stored on them are kept permanently until you decide to delete them. So the memory, the computer memory, is a primary storage device, and therefore it stores information temporarily as compared to the pen drive, which is a secondary storage device, which stores information permanently. Good. So let's move on to the next question. Good. So here are some diagrams of the hardwares we discussed. So that is the computer memory being displayed on your screen, the RAM, the random access memory. And then it is a primary storage device, also known as a volatile storage memory. It stores information on temporal basis, not permanently. Good. And it stores information while the computer is running. So as soon as the computer goes off, if you have your document you've not saved, everything vanishes. Everything goes off. That is the RAM, the random access memory. Random access memory. Good. Then the question 5, we have to study the following devices carefully and then answer the questions that follow. Then name the devices labeled A to F. Labeled A to F. Now let's look at their names. The devices labeled A to F. Now the device labeled A is a pen drive. Then B is a printer. C is an Intel processor. Then D is a projector. D is a projector. Then E is a floppy disk. Device E is a floppy disk. Then F is a web camera. Web camera. Then we have webcam for short. Webcam for short. Webcam for short. Good. So that is a pen drive on your screen. That is a pen drive on your screen. That is how a pen drive looks like. A pen drive or flash drive. A pen drive or flash drive. And then it is an example of a secondary storage device because it stores information permanently until you decide to delete the information on it. Good. That is the pen drive being displayed on your screen. Then the next device is a printer. A printer. Then earlier on I said that a printer is a hardware device of the computer. Of course, it is a peripheral device of the computer. When I say peripheral device here, what it simply means is that it is a device that the computer can actually work without it. So the computer can carry out its functions without a peripheral. But then a peripheral is connected to the computer to enable it to perform extra functions. To enable it to perform extra functions. So we can attach the printer to the computer to enable it to perform an extra functions. And then it is responsible for converting soft copy to hard copy. Converting soft copies to hard copy. As I explained earlier on, soft copies are images and text being displayed on your screen. Images and text being displayed on your screen. And then the printer is the device that can convert a soft copy to a hard copy. A hard copy is actually the one that you can feel, you can touch, but you cannot touch, how do you call it, a soft copy. You can only view it on your monitor, but you can't, touch it. So all these devices being displayed on your screen are all examples of printers printing out information, converting soft copies to hard copies. Good. Then this is an Intel processor. And then earlier on, I told you that a processor is the brain of the computer. That is where the actual processing of data to give out meaningful information takes place. So the processor processes or converts information to useful or meaningful outputs to the user. That is the Intel processor. That is the brain of the computer. That is where the actual work takes place. The Intel processor. Good. So that is the processor for you being displayed on the screen. That is how the processor looks like. The Intel processor. So the brain of the computer. The brain of the computer. It converts information to meaningful outcome to the user. It converts data to meaningful outcome or to meaningful information to the user. The processor. Then the next device is the floppy disk. So that is the floppy disk being displayed on your screen. This is how the floppy disk looks like. Good. This is how the floppy disk looks like. And then it is also a secondary storage device. The floppy disk is also a secondary storage device. It stores information permanently until you decide to delete it. And then it is also used for transferring information from one computer system to another. That is the floppy disk we are looking at. Good. The floppy disk. It is very rare to come by a floppy disk these days because it has outlived its usefulness. The pen drive has taken control or has taken the place of the floppy disk. Good. So the parts I just closed. It's called the write protects. Write good. So if you open it, it gives the chance to copy information on and then from it. And then if you close it, you can't copy information on and then from it. So the device being displayed on your screen is the floppy disk. The floppy diskette. Good. So another hardware components coming your way. Good. And then this is the webcam. The web camera. Webcam for short. Webcam for short. Now, the web camera is a communication or is a telecommunication device. It is a telecommunication device. As you can see, that's the camera part of it. That is it helps you to display to view whomever you are chatting with or you are talking with. It also has a microphone. So it is an audiovisual device. So these are the cables you can use to connect. That is the audio cable, and then the USB cable used to connect to the CPU, the system unit, to the system units. So the webcam is for making audiovisual calls. Audio, visual. Audio, you listen, visual. Look, so it's for making audiovisual calls. The web camera is for making audiovisual calls. On to the next question. And then the next question we ask to state two components. That makes up device C. State two component that makes up device C. Let's take a look at the device. The device C is an Intel processor. Good. An Intel processor. Then we have the control units, and then we have the arithmetic logic units as part of the Intel processor, or as part of the processor. Earlier on, I told you that the processor is the brain of the computer. And then these are some of its components, control units, and then we have the arithmetic logic units. In my next lesson, I hope that we shall discuss the control units and then the arithmetic logic units. Good. Then the BII, state reasons why device E is not common nowadays, and that is the floppy disk. Good. So E is a floppy disk, and then they're asking us to state reasons why the floppy disk is not common nowadays. Good. So the floppy disk is not common nowadays because it has a low storage capacity. It has a low storage capacity, and that is true. It has a capacity of 1.44 megabytes. 1.44 megabytes as compared to the pen drive, which has 1 gig, 2 gig, 3 gig, 4, up to 32 gig, and more. So as you can see, the floppy disk can store it has a low storage capacity as compared to the pen drive. Then another reason why it is no longer in existence is that the floppy disk is not common nowadays because it is made of plastic and can easily break. It is a fragile device. When I say fragile device here, device that cannot resist more pressure. The moment you add some pressure to it, it breaks down or it spoils. So our cherished viewers, will draw down the curtains to today's lessons. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hoping to see you again next week. Thank you.
Abundant Grace International School, we are located right in Obuasi, precisely BDM. The school has a number of facilities that aid in learning. We have qualified and trained teachers who are ready and willing to assist the children. The school has many facilities such as the ICT laboratory. We also have a science laboratory. We also have a library. The school has a number of buses which convey the children from their various destinations to the school premises. We have the football team, we have the drama group, we have a lot, and the school is based on the Christian principles. For more inquiries, you can call this number 0541 310 901 0541 670772. Abundant Grace, in God we trust.